My name is Christopher Connaughton and I'm 26 and I'm from Ireland. So I graduated from university with a degree in English and history, and those are two areas that I really love doing, but I knew that the career path was going to be quite difficult. There wasn't much work out elsewhere. The economy was just about to collapse in Ireland because of the banking crisis, and I didn't want to go through the path of getting jobs through people you knew, and I ended up working in bars and working for my parents a lot. But eventually I knew that that wasn't a career for me. So I did a sales course, and I spent a few months working to save the money, did the 4-week course in a small school just in the college town where I'd be living. And the course is quite tough because it's 4 weeks of intensive work, and I was working part-time a little bit too to try and pay my way, pay my rent. So it was a lot of early mornings, long days in the classrooms, and working in the evenings in a bar, and then trying to do the coursework and the homework. And it felt like I was in school again. Well, to find a job, I tried ringing and sending emails and sending letters to Spain, because that's where I wanted to go, particularly Seville in the south. And I was having no luck. I found out in my experience later on that in the world of TEFL and CELTA, you don't usually get jobs from a foreign country. You have to be in the ground for schools to trust you. But I was really fortunate. I landed in Spain with no plan. I had a place to stay because I knew some friends of friends, and they were great. They put me up, and I arrived, and I was really tired, and it was a new city. And I went to bed, and I got woken up early the next morning with a phone call. The phone call said, would you like, or are you still available to work? And I said yes, and then they said, can you come to Spain? This is actually my first morning, I'm right here. They said, can you be there in half an hour? And that was my first job. The first time I entered the classroom, I felt very nervous. I felt that I was a fraud, that they'd know these children would pull me apart. Fortunately, my first experience, in the work experience, was observing the director of studies in the school I was starting with. A class that I was about to take the next day, but they didn't know that yet. So I was just a teacher sitting at the back. And they were a class of 12, 13-year-old Spanish students. And I remember all of them to this day, because the next day I walked in and tried everything I thought I'd learned the day before from observing the director. But it was just a personal relationship that I built up with the kids. They didn't know I was inexperienced, and I tried my best to hide it. So I don't know how successful I was, but I had a great class. And then the scariest moment was directly after that. I had to teach a class of teenagers. And these were young, 15-year-old, very gregarious, very confident Spanish teenagers, which from teachers I know who have taught around the world, there's something about the Spanish teenager that can be scary. I don't think I have any regrets of traveling, because it's something I really wanted to do. I'm hoping that no matter what the future holds, this will stay strong for me. This will be an advantage I'll have, or an adventure, or memories that I've lived on the continent of Europe, that I've lived in the Far East, and that I'm going to travel, and I'm going to live in South America soon. I'm going to live in Africa. I'm going to live in these amazing places, and I'll be the person who's lived in these places. I would recommend doing this as part of any of my friends or family, if they find themselves not knowing what to do next, or wanting to see, or wanting to be challenged, wanting adventure, wanting something different. Do a CELTA course, do the training, do the 4-week one, because it's the best insight into a classroom that you can possibly get from a short course. Those moments when you think, what the hell have I done, have happened, but they've been brief and fleeting. I think in Vietnam, I think it's happened maybe once or twice when I first arrived here. And you're making friends, and you're trying to find a place to live, and you're trying to deal with the traffic, the food, and the language. When things have happened that have made me have to go home in a hurry, then that has been a rush, and I've cursed and hated being so far away from family and people I love when they needed me. I've had to get on a few planes to take me home for funerals that have made me really sad.